Friends, in this journey of life, something wonderful happened to me. I got my Guru, Paramhansa, Swami Niranjananand Saraswati. And we as a family got associated with the Bihar School of Yoga, which is in Munger, Bihar, a place so beautiful and serene that it moves you from within. Through 4 podcasts, I bring to you this joyous and happy world.
Hari Om Tat Sat.
That's it.
Today, we warmly welcome Shri Shilvardhan Singh, a remarkable leader in the Indian Police Service since 1986. With a 37-year career, he has significantly impacted national security, counterintelligence, and strategic thinking. A lifelong learner, his expertise and insights are valued globally in policing. His interests span sports, literature, and yoga. He's authored 2 short story collection and writes for the Times of India's The Speaking Tree. His podcast, The Dialogue Within, showcase his diverse perspectives. Awarded the President's Police Medals, Commendable and Distinguished Service in 2004 and 2010, respectively. His leadership at CISF has been widely admired. His retirement on 31st August 2023 marks the end of the distinguished tenure, leaving a lasting legacy. One of the most respected and loved Director General of the CISF, he still gets 50 to 60 messages every day, thanking him for bringing the soothing balm of joy, peace, happiness, and yoga in CISF family. He is also a Karma Sanyasin who has cultivated an ethical, spiritual, and moral identity, both in his professional and personal life. A special mention goes to his wife, Aparna Singh, a pillar of strength and a partner in his life. Her dedication to spreading yoga, particularly within the CISF family, has been invaluable. So please join us as we explore the impactful journey of Shri Shilvardhan Singh, a true inspiration in his field. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Well, I believe that many long associations start with something interesting. How did your connection with yoga and Bihar School of Yoga started?
First of all, thank you for a very kind and flattering introduction. And before I respond to your answer, I would like to say this is a very special day in my life. You know, beyond a family, we have many families, real families. Besides my nuclear family, my 2 families are here physically. My family of the police force and my ashram family. So this day is very special to me. Now coming to your question about yoga and connection with the Bihar School of Yoga. I'll speak about it in 2 parts. First is yoga. So since, childhood, as a youngster, I was into sports, physical activity, and then yoga was to come naturally. In the Indian Police Service training, yoga is there. but the flavor is slightly different. It's more physical. You do asanas and a bit of pranayama and such things. But even then, we used to feel the power of yoga in the sense it never used to tire us. It used to refresh us. So there was a different flavor to yoga at that time. But then, how I came to Bihar School of Yoga is an interesting story. And the story is that the year was 2006. Our Swamiji had gone to Mumbai for satsang and a program. And my parents-in-law had gone there. They spent their time there, and I was posted at Lucknow at that time, looking after the state of Uttar Pradesh. And when they came back, so as is usual, which happens in a family, the whole family sits together and you ask, how was your visit, what happened, what did Swamiji say, and all that. So we had a session, and my father-in-law gave me a card of 3 mantras, which you all here, CISF officers have started doing it here, of Mahamrityunjay mantra, the Gayatri mantra, and Durga Ma ke 32 names. And the questioning, and he said that this is what Swamiji has given, and in the morning you should chant them with a sankalp. And a questioning person that I was, I said, why 11 3 times? Why not 3 3 1? He said, no, whatever you like, you take this card and go. So I took that card, went home. At that time, I knew the first 2 mantras. I did not know the 32 names of Ma Durga. When I got up in the morning and started chanting, I said, why be so stingy? Let me do 11 3. and I did my 3 mantras. Went to office. And somehow I started doing those mantras. A week or 2 passed. I was sitting in my office one day, and I was feeling very good, very nice. In the sense, everything's going perfect, flowing. And I said, okay, is there less work? I found no. More problems, in fact. Anyway, I said, must be a good feeling. Another day goes, again I get the same feeling. The 3rd day comes, again I get the same feeling. So then I started thinking, what is it new that I'm doing? So, only thing new I was doing were the mantras. So I felt something has happened because of the mantras. It's either impacting my mood or whatever it is. So I go back to my father-in-law and I say that you had bought a CD of Swamiji's satsang at Munger. I want to hear that. So he gave that CD to me, and I went and put it and started listening to it. And back to back, I heard it for 9 hours. And after 9 hours, after hearing Swamiji, I turned around to my wife and said, let's all go to the ashram. Everyone was shocked. And in June 2006, the whole family came to the ashram. This little girl who is asking me questions here, I first saw her in 2006. On the steps here in the forecourt, she was playing with a small ball. And when we came here in 2006, we did a short course and the whole family together took Mantra Diksha. And that's how yoga came into my life.
You know, people are generally not able to continue different relationships or association. How did you continue with the association and connection with Bihar School of Yoga and Satyananda tradition?
Well, one thing that doing yoga was not difficult for me. I was onto the physical aspect of life in terms of sports and activities and such things. So integrating asanas was not difficult, but that was at a physical level. And besides that, one thing which I said previously was that we took Diksha together as a family. And that perhaps had an impact that together we were a force which got associated. I individually did. The whole family got associated at that point of time. And besides that, what happened was that every summers we started coming here. As you come, meet, interact, your association goes stronger and stronger. But then something very beautiful happened in the year 2008. In the year 2008, Swamiji came to Lucknow for a yoga convention, and we had the opportunity to be with Swamiji for 5 days. 5 days with Swamiji transforms a person's life. In those 5 days, I witnessed, because this was the first public satsang of Swamiji which I had witnessed, I saw the crowd which has come on day 1, how it was on day 5. A very different crowd. That same crowd was a very different crowd on day 5. And I still remember one kirtan which Swamiji sang there. That was Har Har Mahadeva Shambhu Kashi Vishwanatha Shambhu. And the whole of the crowd was dancing on it, so was me. And with the dance, I was crying. It was a sort of a catharsis. I think those must be one of the purest tears I have ever had. And then on the side, my family, which was at Allahabad, my brother and sisters and all, they came to Lucknow. They were all surprised that here was a man who was anti-Pandits, even anti-Sadhu. And what has happened to him? For whom is he doing this? With whom is he there? They came there. And they met Swamiji. All of them took Diksha. And second word which you used was connection. Connection is a very deep word. Association with coming and going builds up. Connection is something within. That connection, for that I need not be in presence of Swamiji or come here. That is with me in all moments. For I always feel Swamiji is there, guiding me, helping me all the time to do things correctly. So the connection is a very individual, deep phenomena within which comes. And for me, it is extremely deep.
How did yoga help you in your professional life as an IPS officer?
Yes. As an IPS officer, for that matter, any police officer, the life is very stressful. And the stakes are very high. Stakes are human lives. Stakes are turmoil in society. Stakes are security of the nation. And first instance, yoga helped me in managing my own stress. In the sense, it helped me to step back and look at things. Besides this, it also helped me make correct choices. One of the very early statements which Swamiji stated, and which has stayed with me, is, and I quote, "The only miracle in this world is standing on your 2 feet and making intelligent choices." As a police officer, I have often visited this statement. It has helped me that I'm still there and I can handle this situation, I step back, I look at the choices before me. What is the most rational choice? I take that choice. So in this sense, this quote of Swamiji has been with me, and yoga has helped me negotiate my career very, very easily, beautifully, and without any ambiguity. That's what it is.
As you mentioned before, that before meeting Swamiji, you were anti-Pandits, you were anti-Sadhu. I would like to know what motivated you to take karma sannyas? And then how did you integrate it in personal and family life?
Well, first I should clarify that what I was before I met Swamiji. I was not anti-sadhu in the sense, or anti-pandit, that may be a more harsh word. But then, maybe because of the education I had and because of my own belief in rationality, education, reading, literature, I felt that these rituals, perhaps I did not understand, that they do not really impact life. And with regard to sadhus, somehow within me, I felt that they basically do not contribute to the society. My mind at the time used to think in terms of contribution which are to the development of society and such things. Perhaps as one grows, one understands that the contribution to the society is much greater at spiritual level and at the level of human development. But at the same time, I was absolutely tremendously fond of reading, writing, insights about life, insights about what is wise, what to do, what not to do. And when I met Swamiji, it was, as Swamiji said, there are no miracles in life. To stand on your 2 feet is a miracle. But then every time I met him, something within changed. I cannot put a finger on it, what changed. But looking back at the many times I've met him, I feel I've become more giving, more loving, more compassionate. Now coming to your question, what made me take karma sannyas? Well, in the year 2006, when we came here as a family, perhaps that first thing when we took Diksha, Mantra Diksha in the Jyoti Mandir here, that was maybe a conscious decision, one can say. But after that, life was flowing. How, when I took karma sannyas, I don't know. I don't know. But yes, I did take karma sannyas. It happened. It flowed. And it has helped me a lot professionally as well. In the sense, from a professional point of view, if I look at karma sannyas, then it is looking at things with non-attachment. And many times, when in your professional service, emotions and various stress and pulls take you apart in various directions, at that point of time, that non-attachment is very important. That non-attachment gives you more clarity, it gives you more awareness about things. I can give you an example from a very police world. We had once caught hold of an international terrorist, a dreaded terrorist who was part of a very heinous attack in India. And his interrogation was going on. In that interrogation, various groups were interrogating it one by one, and we were not able to break him. A few days later, again my team went to meet him. And then, at that point of time, I thought interrogation is a question answer, something which is happening between the minds of these people and he's not breaking. Let me look at other things also. And what I found in his physical persona was something interesting. That guy had long hairs. And every few minutes he was doing like this, then weaving his hand like this in his hair and all that. So, and we had everything about him from the past. So we stepped back and reflected on this. Next time we went with a barber and a scissor. And we said, if you don't speak, we are going to cut your hair. Held his hair and a small clip of hair gone. And the most dreaded terrorist broke down. He told everything, just the awareness, little more awareness even, which yoga gives you, can make such a huge change. There's another thing which Karam Sannyas gave me, or yoga gave me for that matter. It's given me a very, very different perspective of knowledge. I have spent a lot of my professional life working in the intelligence world. Counterintelligence was one of the areas where I was a point person for very long. But in the intelligence world, there's this Francis Bacon's maxim, knowledge is power. But when you look at knowledge is power, that statement has within it a nuance that knowledge for power is knowledge for manipulation, knowledge for emasculation, knowledge for use, whether good or bad. But then yoga has given me a perspective of knowledge to empower, knowledge to share, and knowledge is a horizontal platform. You can seek knowledge from anyone, anywhere, and at times you can synergize by sharing knowledge, and at times you can empower people by sharing knowledge. And of course, you can use knowledge as power. All this in my professional world has come from the various perspectives of sharing knowledge and other things which I have got from yoga.
Next is, what changes did you find in your interactions with your superiors and subordinates as you went through your career?
Oh yes, there are tremendous changes. If I reflect back, changes with superiors. First change which I feel with superiors is the capacity, and it's a very essential capacity which someone should have as a police officer or even as a human being. To be able to fearlessly put on the table that which is correct and honest. Believe me, that strength of being able to say and speak and give on the table that which is correct is appreciated, tremendously appreciated by the superiors. Second thing with the subordinates is that you're in service bound by rules. Sometimes you want to help, you can't help. But there's no boundary for having empathy. You can always have an empathy with a subordinate. Put yourself in his shoes and see the world from his perspective. Have a communication with him. And if you have a strong, clear communication, honest communication, you will find that your communication will always be accepted. These are the qualities which yoga has brought. Another very interesting thing I found, which perhaps was that it surprised me that when one retires, there are a lot of functions for retirement are held, and then everyone gives speeches. I was looking for a common denominator, that what was being spoken about me. One of the most interesting common denominator was that I do not get angry. I surprised myself by hearing that. So all this I got from yoga.
Next up is, why did you think it was important to bring yoga into the police force? And how did you do it in CISF, the force you were commanding?
Into the police force, yes, and the CISF in particular. Well, when I joined the CISF, it's a huge, elite, professional force, 180,000 strong, and a force in which loves its director general. The force welcomed me with its open arms, and figuratively speaking, I tried to widen my arms as much as possible and take the whole force in a bear hug. And then, along with my wife, we sat down and thought, all this love and respect and all the beautiful things which are happening in our life as leader of this elite force, what can we give to them? And the most beautiful and the foundational thing in our world was yoga. So that was one thing, the personal reason of why we came. But there's another second reason, is the force also needed it. It's the world in which they work is full of stress, and this force has a lot of public interaction, and it has to work like robots in public situations. And that stress comes out as anger, as frustrations. The force needed a soothing balm and also tools, proper tools, to actually handle this stress. So these were the two reasons of why in the force. And it was a blessing of Swamiji that it happened. You know, even in COVID time, Swamiji opened the ashram, and the first batch of yoga instructors from CISF came here. And then subsequently, batches of 100, those who were interested, came. These boys and girls, after learning a 10-day yoga as lifestyle here, which was tailor-made for them, they went back to the force, held camps, and took yoga to the force personnel. And out of the 180,000 strong force, today I can proudly say that 140,000 has been outreached by Bihar School of Yoga through this.
Personally, I have seen you in both uniforms, in police and as you're sitting here today in Geru. So it's a personal question. Which uniform you like the most? And why? And also, what has been the impact on your relationship with your own family?
Well, we wear many colors in this world, and uniform and Geru, these are the two most prominent colors which I have worn in my life. And uniform was in the outside world, and within was Geru. So below the surface, it was Geru, and outside for the world, it was uniform. But I never found any dichotomy between the two. They were never at cross purposes. When you wear a uniform, you take a vow to lead your men. Like it is the way of the samurai. If they stand with you, respect them. If they stand behind you, protect them. If somebody stands against you, destroy them. That's the way of the samurai and the soldier. That uniform was never at cross purpose with my Guru. For the Guru says, always take the correct decision according to the situation. The Guru also says, in the Sannyas tradition, the trust of the world is in you. Trust of the men, trust of the society, trust of the nation is in you when you do your duty. That's what the Guru also says. So the spirit of Guru was there when I was wearing my uniform. And then the second question you asked was about the family. Well, family, first thing is that we were blessed. That we came here together as a family in the year 2006 and took Diksha together. And at that time, when we came for the first time, we stayed here in Rog Aryogya. And as it is, we'd come for a course. So the ladies were on to one side, staying in another room, me and my little son in this side. And then I had come here as an officer, stiff. And never in my life I had even taken a glass of water myself. Pani lao, that sort of a thing. And I land up here. And here my son looks at me. Do you know how to wash clothes? So I say, yes, I can. So he has a questioning look on my face. And he says, can you sweep and mop? I say, of course I can. He laughs at me. I said, listen, let's be friends now, partners. See, it was the month of June when we came. So there's this water cooler up here in the GD, here it was. Your job is there are 2 water bottles. You get cold water from there. And I'll do the washing of the clothes. I'll teach you how to do it. And then I saw the tension going down in his face. We became a team. He would bring water from there, and I'll do this work, and he would try his best to do. But when I say the word team, that team which I became with my son is the strongest team I have today. In that moment, he became from team a friend, a philosopher, a guide, a sounding board. When you come as a family, this is what happens to each other when you come to the ashram as a family. Everyone becomes an individual human being here. And then as a family, much more stronger bonds develop. And besides this, in my individual life, some things are sacrosanct now. One is the morning mantras. Second is my yoga practice. Third is my afternoon yoga nidra. And the last is review of the day. And within the family, 2 things. One, taking Diksha together, strengthen that. And second was that since 2009, at our home, every Saturday, we do the Mahamrityunjay mantra. So it impacted my family in a manner which cannot be quantified. Phenomenally. As it said, families that pray together love God, and families that eat together stay together. But families that do yoga today love the world. That's what it is.
Last question. What would be your concluding message for all listening to you today?
Well, my message would be that this world is full of conflict, competition, too much communication, technology, too much technology, competitiveness. I would urge all to bring your children towards yoga, take them to yoga. That will give them, empower them to navigate world with understanding, joy and happiness, and take failure and success in their stride. Thank you.
I would like to thank you for having spared your time, your precious time, and to sit here and express and share your journey of life. And I believe, I hope that even in the coming years, you'll keep us all inspired and keep us inspiring for the days to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.